that we say, that they say, that everybody says nowadays, man. Welcome back to the producer spot. Y'all know what it's time for. It's time for another dope interview, man. I got a different setup. Y'all know last week I was in a hotel, had the lights behind me. You know, gotta get the vibes. You feel me? But this week, man, I'm super excited. I'm super excited because I've been building a little bit with this guy, with this cat, man, and he super dope guy. I've heard some of his work, a lot of his work. You've probably heard some of his work, especially if you. And he's recorded, he's mixed a lot of. I won't say a lot. He's mixed a few decent CHH artists. He got a couple other artists under his belt. Y'all know, but man, like this is the time. Welcome to the producer spot, man. Let's give it up to the homie Brian Kidd. What's good, bro?
What's good, man? Appreciate you, inviting me on this platform, bro.
Man, absolutely, bro. So just tell the people a little bit about you, man. Who you are, where you from. Just start with that, man. Just who you are, where you from. How did you get into mixing? We'll start with mixing, not even diving deep.
Okay, got you. Well, of course, as the title suggested, my name is Brian Kidd. Um, I got into mixing back when I was living in Hampton, Virginia. That's where originally from Detroit, Michigan, was born in Detroit, then moved down to Hampton, VA. Grew up most of my life down there. But I think the thing that set off is one thing, my pops is a pastor. So my mom was a choir director too. So music was playing all throughout the house,
Right.
especially gospel. But I'm also the youngest of four, like by 7, 8, and 10 years. So all the music that my brother and sisters were listening to were getting passed down right to me. So I would have the gospel from my parents throughout the house. And then like when I'm riding around with my brother or my sisters and they with their friends, I'm having the R&B, like the 90s R&B and all that, like John B, Montel Jordan and all that stuff. So like I'm hearing all the hip hop stuff like the Wu-Tang and
Dang,
and
you was well versed, my brother.
So yeah, man. So that was where the foundation started, definitely. So
Yeah.
definitely right around. But I think when it started for me as far as mixing, like I was like, yo, I definitely want to get into this music stuff. Is probably when I was in high school, and I heard Little Brothers the Listening album. When I heard that album and like Knife Wonder's beats and how Fonte and Big Pooh rapped over those beats, I was like, man, this junk is crazy. And it came out, that album came out in the time where it was like Little John was running everything. Little John and 50 Cent was running everything. So
Right.
I was like, man, I have to do music. I was like, all right, so what can I do? I bought me like I forgot what I bought. I don't know if it was it a MIDI keyboard? I forgot what it was, but I was like, all right, I'm about to get into my producing bag. And I sat there for like hours. I was like, man, this ain't for me. Like my patience is crazy because I tell this to everybody and they start laughing. I was like, my patience for producing is not as high as it is when I'm mixing a record. So I looked up other jobs like in the field and all that as far as like music. I was like, okay, an engineer. So they're behind the scenes and I'm kind of low key anyway. So I was like, all right, I'm behind the scene type of guy. Let me look more into this.
Yeah.
Around that time, who did I look up? I think it was Jason Joshua. I think he was starting around there when he was at Larabia out in Cali studios and all that. So I was looking up him. I was like, oh, this guy's dope. All the work that he's done. I was like, man, I gotta get into this and all that. So looking up more stuff. And this was around the time I was getting ready to go to college too. So I was like, I want to make this like my career. So let me look up schools who offer this. So I was looking up a few different schools in North Carolina, which is where I reside now. Up in VA where I was at, and found one of the colleges, Barton College. They had a program, audio recording technology, and that was a bachelor's. So went there for 4 years, got my bachelor's, and hey, here I am right here on the producer spot. So
So do you feel like school helped you? Because I talked to a lot of people And I've gotten mixed emotions. Some people say like, oh yeah, I love school, and then some are like, yeah, bro, it was pointless. I should never went. Only thing I got was the equipment.
I say it's the pros and cons with it.
Okay.
Two major things for me. One, it built my foundation because when I went into this field, I didn't really know anything.
Right.
So my professor, like he was a great professor, Phil Valera. He was really good. He was a huge fan of the Beatles, so that's all we listened to, like all that.
Come on, man, that's classics. That's classics.
Classics. But I was like, man, can we listen to something else too, man?
give me something else, please.
But Phil Valera, like he's built our foundation, and I would say that's one thing, because for those who don't know anything about music, like I walked in and I was like, okay, I learned this. I learned how to like solder like stuff and all that, like all the basic stuff. So once I learned that, after that, I say another pro is like the relationships I built within that program too.
Yeah.
That was one major thing. Like all the people I was in that classroom with, or that graduated either a year or two before me, year or two after me, I still have relationships with them. Sometimes I still like hit them up like, hey man, like what you doing? Like blah, 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 like send me some stuff just to hear. Or can I send you some stuff to hear? And everything like that. So it's like it was great. The only con for me was that bill after I graduated.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's bill. That's everybody's car, you know.
But nah, man, it was a great experience. Like taught me a lot about myself, about like how I approach music. So definitely those two things, foundations and building relationships, definitely help.
So kind of switching gears, bro, like talk about, because I think that's key, what you said about building relationships. Talk about how that helps you right now, because I mean, yeah, just talk about why that's important for you.
Got you. Definitely, because I was talking to somebody earlier about this. I was like, not just for me, but for, I say, anybody that's in the music industry, that's key to build those relationships and everything like that, because hustle is needed in this industry. So you gotta go around, hey, shake people's hands. Like for me, like friends and family back in the day, like they can tell you, like for me, I was the quiet, shy type back in the day. But I had to break out of that shell, like, hey man, you gotta meet people, you gotta send those emails. Like that's one thing, what I did, how I basically like got on and met other artists like Jared Sanders and everything. Like the day before, I think it was the second to last semester, the one thing I did was I hit up one of my favorite artists at the time. I was like, he was an independent artist. I was like, yo, I'm a fan of yours. Would love to somehow meet up with you, work with you, anything. I was not expecting an email or DM back. Like a day or two later, he hit me up like, yo, love to sit down, have a talk. Like, let's meet up somewhere, go out to eat and all that. Man, and like from there, that artist name was K Hill. He started out with Knife Wonder and everybody, the whole Justice League around that. So he was kind of like an affiliate. So met K Hill, and he basically like took me under his wing, basically like, yo, wherever I go, whatever situation I have, I will try my best to like put you in those situations with me. And like he was 10 years older than me, so I looked up to him, like still do, as a big brother. So that's one thing I would say, like, man, everybody has to make connections in this. You got to make connections, y'all. Got to, because I learned one thing I learned from before I reached out to anybody. I read an interview, I forgot where it was from, but LL Cool J said, man, he was like, yo, when I was sending out my demos, I looked up in the phone book of all the big record labels. And he was like, and I mailed each of them my demo. So I took that and applied that. I was like, all right, all the artists that I listen to, some of my favorite artists, let me do that. I'm gonna reach out to them through email. If I'm on like Two Dope Boys, hey, I like this, let me reach out to this dude. Like that's what I just do. I did that for like a good year.
I don't know. I don't know if y'all caught that. Now, let me just put it out there for a second. He just dropped some gems. Gems, okay? Gems have been dropped right here, right here. I'm just saying, like, we have to, like, bro, you know what you repeat what you just said. Like, what did you do? You said he sent the record, he went through all the record labels.
Yep. LL Cool went through all of the record labels in the phone book, and this was back in like the mid 80s. So he went through the phone book and sent every record label his demo. So like I said, I took that and applied that to myself. Every artist that I listened to or that I was a fan of, anything, I was like, yo, these guys are online on Twitter or something. They have their email on their profiles for a reason.
Bro, why are you giving so much secrets? Or why are you giving the secrets? Why are you giving the secrets that are in plain sight out? People
want people to win, yo. People need
that's it, man.
Win, yo. That is it. But no, bro, like that's the major thing. Like people just need to reach out. Like the artists aren't going to come to us. So like for us to get experience and everything like that, we have to go to them. You're going to have to do some stuff for free. That's what I did. I was like, yo, I would do this mix for free, whatever it takes. I just want to get that experience so I can have something to showcase on my resume.
Yeah. So at what point did you know, like, okay, so let's pedal back. Before I ask that, you're full time now, right?
Just about, almost. I'm right there.
Right there.
I'm right there.
That's dope.
Right there.
So what would be that what would that be that point that takes you over? What do you feel like would be that point?
I'll say the point that'll take me over is when basically this school loan is paid down a little bit more. But no, like when I would say like that, and then like these like what I did the other day, like I took whatever bills I had and I just piled them up. I set them in the corner. I was like, all right, what do I have next to pay off? I don't want to go full time with any debt. If I have any debt, it's just going to be the school loan. And that's how that'll be my like only focus and all that. So once it gets all the way down, that power gets all the way down, which is almost done, like I'm just gonna, hey, peace.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that'll be it.
Man, that's okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. Cause I see you working every day. Like talk about that experience, bro. Like you working every day, because I see you all the time online working nonstop, and then you also got another job too.
Yeah. So like with my full-time job, I work. It's a 9-to-5, but like the love about that job is the schedule. So I work for the city of Raleigh, and it's the sanitation department.
Okay.
So with that, we're off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We only work Tuesdays through Fridays. And during that time, we probably only work up to like maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. The rest of the day is ours. So I get up maybe at like 6 o'clock, work a few hours, come back home, and I'm back in front of this computer. So yo,
you got the love. You got the love seat.
Exactly. So man, it's like the biggest love about this job though is the benefits, and that's one thing I was like, yo, let me keep on getting these benefits real quick, get everything I need to get done, and go from there. So yeah, man, yeah.
So okay. So let's talk about your accolades, man. Who would you say is your favorite person to work with, and why? I know we talked a little bit offline, but yeah, why?
Okay. Why? Okay. Let me do my starting 5.
Okay. Come on. Come on, also.
All right, so number 1 is K Hill, just because he gave me my start. Like that's big, bro. Like this man he even taught me stuff in mixing, like because before I came in the picture, he used to mix some of his stuff sometimes. So he was like, hey man, would you do this with this compression and everything like that? But and the reason why I like working with him is because he keeps it real. Like he gives me some life lessons, but also we go back to the music as well. So that's one thing I like about him. That's like big brother, another big brother for me. So Hill's number one. Number two would probably be Jared Sanders, because right after I met K Hill, I met Jared Sanders, and at that time, this was 2012. So Jared really wasn't in CHH and at that time he was still he was on a label that I was a part of, because I was their engineer, and at that time it was called Elementality Productions, and they were doing stuff with like some underground like boom bap type hip hop stuff, which was still dope, like very dope. But I met Jared through that, and we like built a relationship outside of that. The reason why I say I like working with Jared, because everything I get from Jared, he makes it so easy. So easy. So easy. So like he'd be like, yo, like I just went into the studio, and the other homie, like he goes record with our other homie named Tef. He's up in Northern Virginia, Tef Wesley. Okay. And so he was like, yeah, I just was in the studio with Tef. We got everything like cleaned up. So when I get the session from Jared, stems are all trimmed down, like just simple small effects are on it. This is just to give me an idea of stuff. And it's just like the BPM is up there, everything. So it just makes it so much easier. And again, that's another big brother for me. That dude, I don't know if you follow him on Twitter or anything, but that's a funny dude too, yo. That dude is hilarious.
He's definitely a hilarious guy. I remember when I first met Jared, we did a show. I did live engineering for a show they had here in Cleveland, and
the GOM.
Yeah. And they start calling me John Gifts. So Jay Gibbons. They said and Jared started it. It was like, bro, you know who you look like? Like Jay Gibbons. So now every time I talk to Jared, it's always Jay Gibbons. I bet when you talk to him, like, hey, bro, Jay Gibbons from Cleveland. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yo, I'm seeing that, yo.
Okay.
No, that dude is hilarious, yo. He'll joke on you all day, yo.
He started it in Dayton. Then Dayton joined in, and Bizzle joined in. I was like, yeah, I'm the. Then I had to retaliate. I had to give him that.
Don't sit in the corner and let him do it.
No, absolutely.
But I say number three would be the homie Chasing Cash, and for those who don't know who Chasing Cash is,
you said Chasing Cash. Okay.
Cash. And he started out with, I knew about him back when I was in high school, and he started out with Polo the Don, but he also had a collective called Surf Club, and Surf Club was Chasing Cash and Hit Boy and other artists and producers in that collective.
Interesting.
So that relationship was built because of when I reached out to one of my other homies, who's an artist as well, called D Goods. He's out of Tennessee, and he was like, "Hey man, Chase just wanted to know who mixed this right here." I was like, "Yo, all right, cool. Like, yo, send him my info and all that." Like, and this was a couple of years after, like, he won a Grammy with Drake on "Look What You Done." He produced that track on Take Care.
Wow.
Like, so I was like, wow. So man, like, just getting that call from or text from him. I was looking at my text messages. Yo, I was on the sanitation truck just texting this man. I'm like, yo, this man just got a Grammy. I'm sitting here on a sanitation truck, yo. So, yo, like, so, but no, yo,
that stuff happens, bro. Like that. How does that make you feel? You know what I'm saying? Like,
one thing. Yo, I always think, I'll be like, yo, God, thank you, yo. Yeah. That's one thing, like, for real. But man, it makes me feel great. I was like, yo, so like, cause sometimes you be thinking about quitting. Like sometimes you're like, you be like, man, am I doing this the right way? Blah, blah, blah. And at that time, I was like, yo, like, I'm getting work done, but yo, like, is it for me? Like, so, yo, so, but when he hit me up and was like, yo, I like the way how you mix this project, blah, 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 like, let's stay in the loop. And that was like 5 years ago. So, and we still still stay in contact, still do albums for him and everything like that. So man, that's bro. Like he be popping on Twitter too, because he just that's another guy that drops gems and all that, yo. So like that dude is that's the homie. That's just nothing but love for him, bro.
Yeah.
But
So what? That's number 3.
that's number 3. Number 4.
That's your 3. Okay.
That's my 3. So number 4 would probably be the homie Pat Jr.
Okay.
Like Pat, I met him because I met him through a show that my homie K Hill threw here in Raleigh. I was like, yo, this dude is dope. Like this man performance, like his energy that he brings is like crazy. So just met him through that, and at that show, and we just built a relationship from there. Like it was just like minor exchanges, like, yo, what you think about this, blah blah blah, that. But then like I say a year after meeting each other, like we got like dumb close, like some like brother type stuff and all that, like hitting each other up every day. So, but nah, man, that's another dude that definitely he is serious about his craft. Also, he's the one of the co-founders of, I don't know if you know the sample pack, Pelham Jr.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, there's a dope sample pack company. He's a co-founder of that. Yeah, man, that dude is just, as an artist and a producer, that dude is like crazy, man. But nah, that's number 4, and then probably number 5. Number 5, like the easiest, like my favorite to work with is probably, like I said, Todd Zach Jr. I don't know if he's watching this, but shout out to Todd. Yo, that's the bro. That's the bro. And the crazy part is I just met him like 3 months ago. Like really? 3 months ago through Pat. Cause he hit up Pat, was like, hey man, who makes your album? And Pat was like, yo, like the fam, Brian Kidd. So like we linked up, and like every chance we get, we just talk about life. Like we don't talk about like music a lot. Well, we'll talk about music, but we'll talk about life too. Just like, yo, what's going on, blah blah blah. And then we'll get into the music. Like, yo, like this. Like I remember one thing that we always bond with is that Bobby Valentino's first 2 albums. Like that. Like it was like, yo, because he's an R&B. Like he's an R&B cat. So he was like, yo, like, yo, you got like, yeah, this album is crazy. And we always bonded over those albums and all that. So, but nah, man. And then I think he's from your area. I think he's from what is that? It starts with an E. Is it Illyria or something?
Illyria, yep. That's not far. It's not far at all.
I think he's from that area. So that's definitely definitely when I come up, I gotta link y'all and all that.
Man, for sure. So okay. Now I get into we're about to get into this stuff now.
Okay.
I hope you ain't afraid to keep it real. Okay. What is your biggest pet peeve when mixing records?
Hey, we got 5 hours or so, yo, because we'll go down this list. About to go down this list, but nah. My biggest pet peeve.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one. Well, I'm gonna name a few.
Okay.
No, this is definitely number 1. This is even before I get any files. When I get a message that say, "What's your race?" Didn't even introduce yourself. No. I don't know what you do. I don't know who you are. Like I'm just going by your username or your IG handle. So I don't know your name or anything. So let's start over. Let's like unsend that message and start over. But man, like that's one thing about biggest pet peeve, because it's like, man, like the old saying goes, and it may sound cliche, but it's like, yo, first impressions is everything.
Yeah.
Like, so man, like, so if I send you that email, you gotta introduce yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what type of music you do. Hey, send me a sample of something that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it's something, if I can't do it, maybe it's somebody else that I know that could probably do that. Like, hey man, that's not my, that's not my lane to mix that type of music. Let me shoot you to somebody else.
Right.
So, but yeah, like definitely number one. Definitely number one. Like, man, like have some type of email etiquette, message etiquette, something.
Yeah.
So that's definitely number one. Number two, we talked about this before. Have man, like label your stems.
Oh,
man.
please.
Label your stems. Like I said earlier, I hate opening a folder and it says audio 1, audio 2, audio 3, audio 3_2, something like that. Like that thing is like, man, I'll just be tired. So like if you have everything labeled, I can just, maybe I can just do a quick listen. All right, did he label that clap right? All right, that's correct. Boom, boom, boom. Just go through it. Everything's labeled correctly. All right, let me get started. So but nah, it's like it'll save us so much time.
Yes, it will.
So much time.
Thank you for speaking that out on that.
Like so much time. And also the BPM. Have the BPM too. Even though you slid a gem to me before this interview. So I'm going to invest in that. I'm going to invest in that.
Man, that's the sauce, man. That's the sauce. Can't give all the gems, you know what I'm saying? Can't give all of them.
Facts.
I'm telling you, when I learned about that one gem, yeah.
Definitely.
If you know. If you know, you know.
Exactly. So that's what that's my two biggest pet peeves. I'm trying to think of one more if I can. I would say how
do you feel? Okay, since we're on the producer spot, I gotta ask, how do you feel about producers having their beats tracked out, but completely super limited and overly compressed in every instrument? I'm sorry, I gotta do it, man. I see it every day.
Could have been my next one, y'all. That could have been my next one because I'm gonna tell you this. And the crazy part is when you said like it don't even have to be stems, but if it's stems that's like that, it's like, man, can you take off this whatever you got, this L1 maximizer, L2 maximizer, or
a lot of times it's not
clipper?
This soft clipper in FL Studio, like
exactly. Like you take off that clipper, man, it's like it's hit me in the head, yo. It's hit me in the head. So, but it's like I'll tell you one thing that I get, like I'll get 2 tracks sometimes, and I'll be like, okay, like I'll work with 2 tracks, that's cool. But then I'll look at it, and the wave is just as big as my computer screen. I'm like, yo, why is it? Like, I can't do nothing with this.
Where's the room? Like, where are things going? Like,
where is the room, yo? It's like no room for anything. So it's like people don't understand. Like when I tell people, hey man, don't go so hard on your tracks like that when you mixing your stems. Like I can put a L1 or something on it. Like just leave headroom for me. And like people don't understand. Like, once it leaves their computer, they're like, yo, it's hitting. Like, so I'm like, yo, like take that off, yo.
Now I get it. If it's going on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? If it's going on YouTube or even your store for streaming.
Exactly.
However, but when you get into like
songs
but then again, artists I won't say they don't buy beats, but a lot of artists decide that they're not going to purchase the beat and they're just going to rip it from YouTube, and then they expect us to make magic happen off of something that you stole off of YouTube.
Say it again, because
that's it. I just don't get it sometimes, man. I don't get it. I really don't.
I'm gonna add one more thing to that pet peeve list. It's like when I get recordings, I always say, and I know Mix by Ali been preaching this heavy for the past couple of months, but he was like, yo, this is what people don't understand. The mixing starts at the recording stage, yo.
No, absolutely. Like,
I get recordings that are just so distorted. It's a shame. Like I'm like, yo, like the mic had to be like right here. Like everything was just like
Either that or you have an engineer, a recording engineer that has a nice little Avalon and they don't know how to work the pre-gain and the radio.
everything turned all the way up. And that's what I tell people. If you record yourself, yo, like I always tell people, I would rather you record as quiet as possible than as loud as possible. Because I can always raise the volume.
Right.
I can't bring it down. Is that those, as I call it, those stretch marks is still gonna be there.
Right. That's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. Please, like artists, it starts at the recording stage. Mixing stage starts at the recording stage. So
okay.
That's another.
So talk about what you use to mix and why, like what's your DAW of choice?
Okay. I use, when I went to school, I was brought up in Pro Tools. So that's what I mainly use is Pro Tools, probably like 95% of the time. The other 5%, I use Logic. And that's because like I get sometimes I'll tell people like, yo, how do you want me to send the stems? I was like, I'll ask, what do you record in? Mm-hmm. Most of the time, people record in Logic. Mm-hmm. So I'll be like, hey, man, just send me the Logic session, and I'll either mix it in Logic or I'll bounce it out, whichever one is easier. But sometimes, most of the time, like I'll mix beats, like for like Pat Jr., like I told you, he got the sample packs, and most of their sample packs is mixed in Logic. So they send me that session, and I just finish it off in Logic.
Right.
But yeah, that's the 5%. That's where the 5% comes from. But definitely Pro Tools, even though Pro Tools gives me a headache when I like my computer for the RAM is maxed out, and it'll be like, oh, that little icon pop up. Hey, the such and such is stopped because it couldn't get to the hard drive fast enough. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about?
please explain to me how does that?
I'm like, what are you talking about? This is stupid. And it's like I see it on other like big engineers' computers too. Like it'll show up on theirs. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not the only one, but this is stupid.
So did that affect you the other night when I like went down?
No, I didn't know it went down. So it went down.
It went down again. You know, it went down earlier this year. And then it just went down like a couple of days ago. Everybody was talking about it. It's like, yo, it was down for like 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was a guy at another studio here in Cleveland. And he, I'm cool with the owner because that's where I came from before I was here. And he was like, yeah, bro, it went down. Somebody was in the middle of a session and he had to cancel. He literally had to reschedule the last 2 hours of the session. I said, I would have been so mad. So bad. But I had just... It was because they're using the cloud, like, and the servers, like I told him, I was like, bro, the cloud's fairly new. Like, it's like what, less than a year old for real.
Yep. So those type of things are almost expected to happen now.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah. I always wonder, like, did it affect people? I see it affected a lot of people though. So
yeah. And then I didn't notice that. I didn't notice it.
Do you use the iLok? You use the hardware?
Yeah, I use the hardware. Yeah,
bro. It was crazy. The first time it went down, it affected me, and I learned from my mistake then. I said,
okay, yeah. Hey, man, that's all it takes is one time.
Everything I use is on iLok. Like all my plugin, like my Slate bundle. I got Slate bundle. The only thing that's not is my Plugin Alliance and my Auto Tune now. Like, everything else I use is all on the iLok. So even if I go to another DAW, can't use iLok. I can't use it because it's all iLok. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, and people don't understand how important iLok is, yo. Like if any one of us loses iLok, like the world is over, yo.
Oh yeah.
The world is
I lost my dongle one time. I said I will never lose this thing again. I think it was only one. I did too. I literally said I'm never losing. I'm never doing that again. It's literally plugged into my USB hub and it never moves.
I did too. I think one time I was walking back to my apartment and all of a sudden, like I went back in and I sat down. I was like, yo, where's my iLok? man, I went outside and it was sitting right in the grass in front of my apartment building. And it was at night too. I just somehow like turned on my lights and it was right there sitting in the grass. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yes, you know, I lost it and I had to go through the process of getting temps and having them reinstate and all of that. So that was
so you really lost it.
Lost it. Nowhere to be found, lost it. That was fun.
Yeah.
So okay. We on the producer spot, man, and a lot of people on here really like to, you know, brand new people. A lot of the audience is, you know, newer and they want to know, you know, how to get started. So what advice would you give to a younger engineer, younger producer that wants to get into engineering, wants to get into mixing? Like, what advice would you give them?
Definitely number one is definitely reach out to people, network. That's number one. Like, you cannot do anything in this industry without networking. So definitely do what I did, or what LL Cool J, what he said in that interview. That's just reaching out to people, man. Like definitely, because I'm just now seeing, like, I went back and watched somebody else had a video. I don't know if it was on Waves or Mixed with the Masters or something, but he said the same thing. He was like, yo, like, reach out to people, like, hit that email, hit like social, like, then 10 years ago when I did that, like, Twitter was out and all that, but it wasn't as big as it is now. Like IG, the same thing, all that. Facebook was the big thing back at that time. But now it's like you have more social media platforms. So it's like this generation under us, they have so many more resources. So it's just like use that social media to your advantage. Reach out to people. You see all these people doing these challenges, like certain artists, like, hey, I'm doing the chocolate shake challenge or whatever you want to say it is.
There's so many
whatever it
is out nowadays. So.
Exactly. So like reach out to that artist, like build a relationship with them. Like that's how like Ali started. Look, like he built a relationship with all those guys, J-Rock, Kendrick, like he was like one of the main engineers. Now he got like him and like other engineers around him. So it's like definitely. I'm gonna keep on saying this to the end of the interview. Definitely. Network, man. Yeah. Network. You will have to do stuff for free sometimes. So get that out of here.
You can say that again. Yeah. I think a lot of times people feel like, oh no, I'm worth more, so I'm not doing nothing for free. And it's like, bro, I mean, I get it, you know, but humble yourself. Humble yourself. Exactly. Because there's always going to be somebody that is bigger than you. There's always steps that you can get to go bigger. So it's like, bro, like, humble yourself and actually just do something for free. Just hand it out. Exactly. It's okay. It's okay to give away one thing. It's okay. It's okay. It's not gonna kill you. It might even help you.
It helped me because that helped me build my resume. It built my resume, and so like when people heard that, it just led to more and then more. Like you'll see what happens when people do like the stuff for free, like that one free mix and all that or something like that. So
who do you look up to? What engineer do you feel like you look up to that you like? Oh man, like I literally love his stuff. Like
DJ Quick.
Okay.
DJ Quick, I had to definitely.
Add or her because there might be some female.
Oh yeah, of course.
Offend nobody.
Exactly. But definitely DJ Quick.
Okay.
Like when I was and like nobody in my family was really listening to him. I just kind of discovered him on my own. Mm-hmm. And like around that time, I know when like Tupac's All Eyes on Me, which he mixed, like he was all there for those sessions and all that, mixed everything. I was like, yo, this dude is crazy. And like even some of his solo work, I'm like, I go back and listen to those albums. Like if anybody's out there listening, definitely go back to like Safe and Sound album. That's to me, that's one of the great like hip hop albums to sit and listen to the mix.
You dropping gems for me because I'm about to go back and listen to my stuff.
The Safe and Sound album. the what is the other one after that? Rhythmalism. Like yo, those two albums were like for me. Like I listen to those albums all the time in high school, college, and now. Like I still try to put people on. I was like, yo, listen to like even if you never heard of Quick, like I put artists on, like yo, like listen to this dude, listen to his flow, listen to his voice. Like this man had like a almost a high pitched voice, but he got his word across. Yeah. So just listen to how his voice is on those mixes and how like the clarity on his mixes. That's how I want my stuff to be. Like it was just crazy. Like back in the mid 90s. So definitely DJ Quick. As far as like some of the new school cats, I would say, of course, Ali, because still that those mixes on To Pimp a Butterfly. That's my favorite Kendrick.
I was about to say that those for me, those mixes are probably some of the best mixes of this era right now. That I would say. I would.
Fact.
I don't.
Like, so definitely.
I'm not gonna get into
that. Definitely, bro. Hey, go ahead.
Not like cause okay. I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
I can understand when something is recorded, very compressed, right? However, if you're getting the sessions, you can take the compression down, especially if they're just recording into an Apollo. So let's first go there, okay? Why did I listen to Tusi's album? And it was like, the mixes on it was horrible, bro. Like, and it's just the high over compressed vocals that get me. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like everybody wants that now. It's like I hear clarity. Clarity is needed, but where's the body in the records? Where's the body in the vocals? Even now, if I put body in somebody's record, they're like, hey, I don't know. It just sounds like
weird. Yeah. Yep. Yo, and it's definitely around that mid range, and that mid range is important, yo. So it's like, whatever, yo. I guess go do what the kids are doing and all that now. But
so, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna switch gears, man.
Go ahead.
So, what would you say is your favorite, if any, piece of hardware that either you have or that you use? Have used, or that you have that you use consistently?
I say I name two. I got one hardware, and it's the Clark Technique, the KT2A, and it's the equivalent to the LA2A.
Okay.
And I was either looking at that between that and the warm audio equivalent of that as well. And the warm audio was dope. It was warm, of course. But but the Clark Technique, like I just love the high end on it. So the high end that it brings the vocals. I heard somebody use it on guitars, like on YouTube one day. I was like, yo, this is dope. And just the way it brings out the harmonics and stuff and all that. But I would say the Clark Technique. And one that I really want that I'm looking at the what is it? The Empirical Labs. What is the Distressor? The Distressor.
The Distressor. Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at. The hardware one.
Yeah, the Distressor. So I love the Distressor in the box is super dope. So I
it is.
Imagine what it's like outside the box.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe one day, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get the Avalon. I see you got one.
You know, it's a nice little doozy. It's a nice little doozy once you use it, right? You know, some people don't know how to use it, but we leave that here or there. It's neither here or there. No, man, I love the Avalon, especially like So I've taken the Avalon through. I've taken the Apollo through it.
Hmm.
I've taken right now I got my Scarlet 1820, 18 out of 20.
Okay,
But
okay,
yeah, man. Even there's a Lynx Aurora. That sounds amazing through it as well.
okay,
Um,
okay.
so yeah, man. Like it's a few different ones, man. Like I've Avalons are definitely some of the best. I love it. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
got you, got you. Yeah, I gotta look into getting one.
It's worth it. It's worth it if you do recording. If you do more recording, you know what I'm saying? Like that's when it becomes worth it. But yeah, neither here nor there. Um,
Yeah.
so okay, last couple things, man. I won't
Okay.
hold you long.
No, no,
You know,
no,
I this is my show that we could do what we want. I know I could go as long as I want because I own the show. However, you know, I still want to stay close to the time. But what last couple things, man? What do you feel like is next for you as far as like just being an engineer, being a mix engineer? What is next for Brian Kidd?
Um, I say what's next is making that move to full time, being a full time engineer,
Mm-hmm.
and then also I'm gonna say this, and this is really simple, to finally get my website up and running. That's really simple.
You've been talking
Like
that since I met you.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
I feel it
So
though.
nah, but nah, it's like people don't understand too. Like that website helps because I always get people ask me like, what's your rates? Hey man, do you have any can I have some references? And
Mm,
like if I just had that website up and running, it'll be like, yo, boom,
oh,
website.
right there.
This
Yeah.
spot right here. So definitely making this full time. Finally get my website out, and then man, just being more like traveling more and being more mobile, like because I know it's like a lot of artists I work with. I'm like, man, yeah, you need to come out here, like get more work out here. You be a mobile engineer, like mixing stuff and all that. Like we can definitely send you stuff, but it's like you come out here, be more face to people. It's like build more relationships. So
Yeah.
definitely next year I'm gonna start working on that, just like traveling more, like connecting with the artists that I already work with to build more relationships around their circle and all that. So
Right.
definitely. That's why I say the three things. I say within, hopefully we'll get that up and running within the next 6 months. I want to say in the near future.
Listen, bro. I believe it. I believe in you. I believe in you. You know,
I
nobody else
appreciate it.
believes in you. I believe in you. Um, man, but last thing, man, what advice, like what last piece of just words of wisdom, words of encouragement, whatever it is that is on your heart. You know, I don't want to keep it, set into music. I like to just give people that freedom to, speak what's on their heart. For the final words, man, what would you share? What's on your heart to share with anybody and everybody, to encourage somebody?
Man, one thing I say, it's gonna sound cliche, never give up, because you're
Mm.
gonna have days. You're gonna definitely have days where you're just like, man, I just want to quit, or like, man, it's been slow. I'm not making no money. Man, am I really doing this right, man? Don't quit. It's everybody is gonna go through trials and everything. It's just like what's that new edition song? Can you stand the rain? Like like yo, we gonna go through some rough times, like especially for engineers. It's like everything is not gonna be a fire week, like, hey, I'm gonna be working every day for the next like 2 months. You're gonna have a slow day, a couple of days, a week,
Mhm.
something. It's
Mhm.
gonna be slow. Just don't give up. Again, like I said earlier, connect, network, reach out to people.
Yeah.
Um, definitely. And then like, man, this is one thing that I always do. Like before I start a mix or anything, man, I just say a prayer or something, man, before I
Mm.
mix. Like not every mix, but Like, man, if it's like a lot of things that's on my mind, like I just pray like, hey, Father, let me like focus my mind on this. Like, I know it's a lot of things on my mind, but like help me zero in on what needs to be done.
Right.
So
Right.
like I always try to do that when my mind is just like you said earlier, like you said you were doing 80-something thousand things at once. Like I always try to, make sure I say a prayer or something like, hey man, refocus, like take, like breathe, like, and just boom.
Yeah.
That's another thing I say, do just prayer, and just sometimes, hey, go. Another thing, leave the computer sometimes. Like if you don't want to get ear fatigue.
Yeah.
You do not, because I promise you, it happens to me sometimes. Like I'll just be like, yo, I gotta finish this. All right, that's done. Boom. And then like I'll get like some edits back, and they'll be like, yeah, could you change this? I was like, man, that was so simple. Like maybe if I would have stepped away, went to grab something to eat, went to the mall, went to the movies, went somewhere, and came back, maybe I would have heard that before. So it's just like, but man, yeah, like some of those minor tips, minor things to do, it's like it'll definitely help you. Those like engineers that want to get started in the long run, like, and it's, yeah, ear fatigue is real.
It is real. It is a real thing. If you're an engineer,
real,
you've had it, and you hate it. I can tell you that much.
Many times. But yeah, and again, I'm gonna add this again. Network.
It always happens. It's all back full time. Network. I mean, but I think about it though, man. It's like you really got to think about this. Like this show wouldn't be possible without networking. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think people really understand the magnitude that networking has on the industry. And until you realize how big of an impact it has on a career, you'll never really want to do it. Especially if a lot of producers, they're not really into people, So it's like, even if you're not into people, you better, like, if this is what you want to do, you can't hide behind the computer for too long. You either got to find somebody that's going to be out there and advocate for you, or you need to get out there and advocate for yourself. Either way, you got to get out and you got to talk to somebody. So something has to happen. So yeah, man. Man, I definitely appreciate you, man, for jumping on. Dropping some small gems, man. We definitely got to have you back on the show soon, man. I tell everybody that's on the show, man, like, you're now family, bro. So anytime you want to hop on, anytime you want to join in, anytime you want to, just say you want to take over the IG for a day, like, and just go crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can, man. Like, it's home. It's home.
You, this artist, yo, name your stems, yo.
Hilarious, man. But no, like, I definitely appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody for always coming on, man. But I definitely
I appreciate the invite, bro. Allow me on your platform, everything. I definitely appreciate that, like, all the way, bro. Just yeah.
So how could somebody, because I know there's probably some producers watching, some artists watching, some songwriters, some other engineers watching, they're like, hey, I need my beats mixed, or I need this mixed, or I want to learn, I want to sit under you, I want to talk, I want to, have conversations about what you do. How can somebody get in touch with you, bro?
I'm always active on, I say, the two social medias, Twitter and IG.
He's not active on IG. Don't let him cap to you. No, I'm
I was like, hold on. I think I answered all your stuff. I think I answered all your messages. No, but yeah, man, just hit me up on Twitter or IG. That's what I'm mostly active on. Mix Engineer Kid. Not with, now when you spell kid, it's with a 1 and not an I. So definitely put that.
I made that mistake once.
But yeah, you can reach out to me on there. Hit the email. It's the same thing. mixengineerkid@gmail.com. Introduce yourself, because if I see a what's your rates, dragging it to the trash.
or you're gonna leave them on scene in the DM. Just What's my rates? I don't know. I don't even know my rates. Let me go to the next message. It actually treats me like a person and not a robot. You know?
Exactly. So man, yeah, hit me up on the email, Twitter, IG, man. I'll respond back in a timely manner. And yeah, man, that's how they can reach out.
Man, again, bro, we appreciate you for tapping in, for joining in, for being a part of the family. I'm trying to look and see who we have on next week. Make sure y'all stay tapped in. If y'all not following the page, make sure y'all go follow the Instagram page. Go tap in. We got some major giveaways coming up. Myself, my team, and the 10 and Lo-Fi are going to be giving away once we hit 500 followers. A super dope pack. So sample pack. So it's just trying to do some, we're giving away free stuff. Okay. So if you get us there, we give it away, so super dope. Next week is gonna be to be determined. I can't tell you that. It's a secret. So you just gotta tap in, look at the page. We're gonna announce it sometime this week. If you are interested in joining the team and helping out, let us know. Reach out on DM. You can email us, text us, all of that. All the information is on the IG. Just hit us up, man. We are looking to build the team. We're growing and things are moving quickly, and we want you to be a part of it. So definitely hit us up. You can hit me up, and I'll put you in contact with the right people. So as always, thank you so much for tapping in. We appreciate you. Remember to stay positive. Remember to collaborate because collaboration thrives creativity. And remember always, 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 always create because you're created by the creator. See y'all next week, Friday, 7 p.m. We are.